I got the chance to catch up with Anthony Casuccio, an unassuming, down-to-earth person that you would probably not guess is a 30-year music veteran. Anthony's audio production work has been nominated for 3 Grammy Awards. It has reached gold record status, and it has been placed in various TV shows as well as commercials. His production work has resulted in numerous songs landing on the top of Billboard's dance charts. He has remastered various albums for icons such as Johnny Cash, Tony Bennett, and Roy Orbison. His audio work has been used for promotions for artists like Pink, Destiny's Child, Train, and the Dixie Chicks. As band leader and songwriter, producer, and engineer, he has led his band A&L to success, topping various charts across the world, where they have had over 9 top 20 songs. As a solo artist, he has found success on various UK indie music charts. Anthony has received radio play in over 70 countries throughout Europe and North America. He is an author, a father, a caregiver, and self-proclaimed expert in dad jokes. Welcome, Anthony. So you have a very long list of accomplishments. I'm going to kind of start off with a broad question.
Okay.
What do you attribute your success to?
Wow, starting off the hard question. That's okay. I think my success is due to my concentrating on building relationships. That has helped me get a job. That has helped me get press. That has helped me get my songs on the radio. And that's what it's about. I try to build win-win relationships. And that's taken me very far in this industry. I also really believe in integrity. So I've always tried to do the right thing in the industry, even if it's not going to benefit me. I would rather sleep at night, do the right thing, knowing that I carried myself with integrity and, knowing that the decisions that I've made are the right ones. And I think that goes a long way. I really believe in creating win-win situations between me and my clients, me and people I'm working with, whatever it might be. And I think if you do that, that makes people want to work with you. I think people are afraid to get screwed in this industry. And if they know that's not going to happen, they're more inclined to work with you, believe in you. And I think that carries you quite far. Plus, I think a few dad jokes go a long way.
What has been one of the most exciting achievements of your career so far?
That's a tough question. I've been very fortunate to work with a lot of people on a lot of great projects, so it's tough to narrow it down. Having 3 Grammy-nominated albums I've worked on, that's definitely a crowning achievement. But I think for me, I wrote this jingle. It was a national jingle for Liberty Medical. And going to the gym and working out at the gym and being on the treadmill and looking up at the TV and then hearing my jingle. To me, that was amazing. I think it was like a high that I've never felt before. I'm like, oh my God, that's my work that's on CNN's morning show. It was great. I think I ran an extra mile that day. So that would be my crowning achievement.
So you grew up in Buffalo, New York.
Mm-hmm.
You moved to New York City.
Yep.
And then California. Now you're back in New York, but you're finding success in Europe and other countries outside of the United States. You've had numerous songs with your band A&L break the top 20, even the top 10 in the UK. And your solo work has also found success in Europe and even Brazil. So why is that?
That's a great question, and everybody asks me that. And of course they say, why you? I'm like, what? What's wrong with me? But here's what I attribute to. I think that I put out a great product. And I hate to call my music a product, but it is. It's a product. So when I send this out to radio and promoters and people that I've built relationships with, they know that they're going to get a high quality audio recording product. Now, I can't say the songs are good. I think they're good, but they know that they're getting a good product. So that helps me jump ahead of a lot of other people trying to do the same thing that I do. Now, why is it resonating in Europe and in Brazil? Like recently I had a song that just blew up in Brazil. The guitar is still very much a part of contemporary music overseas. It's, their music's still guitar centric. If you look at radio and top 40 here in the United States, there's no guitar. If you count Ed Sheeran, I love Ed Sheeran, but there's no guitar. So the fact that my songs are very pop centric, I think my jingle writing has attributed to me writing really good hooks. They're well produced and they have guitar. And a lot of people sending stuff overseas from the United States aren't using the guitar. So I think it's a culmination of all these things that just seems to work. and these people get behind it. And I'm also making them look good. Let's be honest here. They have a good product, and if they're pushing it to their people, they know it's going to stand up. And I've been fortunate. I've been fortunate to get in the right places with the right people and have the right product. And I'm just going to keep going, and hopefully it still works.
What motivates you to do your best work as a music producer?
It's funny because I tell students, I tell people who want to get in the industry, it's not this glamour party. In the studio, that's not what it's like. It's meticulous, it's paying attention to detail. And I think I have some OCD qualities when it comes to music and production. I will not let something go out of my hands if it's not perfect. And you can't do that this day and age. If you listen to any song on the radio or any big name artists, not independent, but any big name artists, their songs are perfect. There are no mistakes. Now, that doesn't mean that they've been processed and they're sterile. That could be the case. But for me, I just want it to be perfect, and there's no excuse not to make it perfect. As I say, there's that undo button. People forget about that. If you make a mistake, undo it, redo it. Or there's so many tools in this day and age with computer DAWs and recording that you can fix things. So I make sure I do that. I make sure for my clients, I fix things, I make things perfect. And for myself, I don't want to let anything go out the door that's not perfect. And also, I'm competitive. Believe it or not, people are like, you're so laid back. Well, I'm a laid back person, but I'm competitive when it comes to my music, my personal music. I want my stuff to hold up against anything that's out there. And I think it does, at least sonically. I'm not saying songwriting or other things, but sonically it does. And for me, that's the challenge. So it makes me want to continue to do my best. I want it to sound seamless from the big name artists. So that competitive nature really pushes me forward.
You've remixed and remastered over 450 albums while you were in New York City, and then probably another 500 or so. Do you feel your musical style has evolved since the beginning of your career?
Absolutely. Those 450 albums were done before I was 30. A lot of people don't know that. So I had a really good experience in New York. And those 500 after are just continuing doing what I do best, which is mastering. I think the music that I worked on when I was 23 to 30 years old was all over the place. From Glenn Miller to Tommy Dorsey, Ella Fitzgerald, Roy Orbison, Johnny Cash. You know, it wasn't the songs that I would put on the radio or grab a CD when I was home, but it definitely influenced my way of listening to music, listening to how music was written. And then it gave me this arsenal of ideas to pull from with my own music when I'm writing music or if I'm doing something for a client, like a jingle. I had a jingle client say to me, hey, I want to do these horns. Do you think you could do some horns? Do you ever hear of Glenn Miller? And I'm like, yeah, I did 3 box sets with Glenn Miller. Absolutely. So I can pull from these things. So it's definitely enhanced and helped my evolution of my musicality, so to speak. And then what I do now with working with clients, from hip hop to dance, even I just did a harp album. Again, I file those away, and then when I need an idea, I pull from my experience. And it's definitely had a profound impact. And I think that's one of the reasons I've been successful. I've got all these ideas from other people that I appreciate, I listen to, I file away, and I have something to pull from when I need it.
After a career in the music industry spanning over 30 years, what keeps you driving forward?
You know, I ask myself that on a daily basis, and I come back to the same thing. It's just music is my passion. And as I tell people, you don't choose music, music chooses you. How you decide to react to that pulling is up to you. Do you bury it? Do you let it fester inside? Me, no, I need it. I need to create every day. I need to play my guitar or write a song. I need to do something with audio production, whether it's my own or a client's. I need to do that. It's like that person who has to go to the gym, which I've been one of those people. So I know what it's like. And it's if you miss a workout, you feel like your day hasn't been completed. And that's how I am with music. It's just I need to always have it in my life. And if I'm not where I can do something with audio production, I'm always listening. So if I'm camping, I'm listening and filing things away or working on an idea for a song or just sitting back and trying to listen and be like, what did these people do? Why is that snare drum this way? You know, I can't turn it off. And I think that's what keeps me going. And I love it. I wouldn't change any other aspect of my life, because with music in it, I feel fulfilled.
What has been your favorite artist or project to work with so far?
I've done so many things. I mentioned the Grammys and stuff. I think one of the projects that I found, which was really fun and a highlight in my career, was when I was working for a Sony Music Investment with Red Band Broadcasting, and I was the director of audio production. And the band Lifehouse came in, and we interviewed them, and I did some in-studio performances. And we recorded 2 of their big hits, Hanging by a Moment and Somebody's Song. And I had such a blast with these guys. They were so much fun. They were just hamming it up in the studio. And then I mixed down the song, and I took the song to them at their concert. And we're hanging out in the backstage. I gave them the disc. They were thrilled, but called it a day. Saw the performance. I went home, and that night I got a call from them from the tour bus, and they're like, "Anthony, what did you do? This sounds amazing. We've been to many studios doing in-studio performances, and nothing sounded like this." So that to me was amazing. I was elated. They wanted to release it, but I was in a Sony-based company, and they were on DreamWorks, a different label, so they couldn't release it, which I was bummed about. But either way, just getting a call from a band appreciating your artistic vision for their songs, there's nothing like it.
What skills do you believe are the most useful in the music industry?
Well, obviously, there are the technical skills. You have to master your craft, whether it's your instrument, your voice, your production skills, being an engineer, producer. I think that's given. To me, what I think is one of the most important skills are interpersonal skills. How you deal with people. To me, that's huge. And I think that's also attributed to my success. Understanding how to figure people out, how to read people, and how to invoke the best performance from them is key. And not everybody can do that. You can be so technically savvy, but if you can't work with people and people don't want to work with you, what good is it? People, especially in this industry, it's an industry where people are ego driven, and that ego is a means for survival. If you have to get up every night and perform in front of people, you better have some confidence, right? That also, travels into the studio. So you have to work with these people where you're not talking down to them, not talking up to them, talking level with them, evoking that emotion and making them feel comfortable. If they like you, they're going to want to work with you. And I think that's the truth. Interpersonal skills and relationships are good in any industry, but I think it's the number one aspect and skill that you need if you want to succeed in the music industry.
One of the other hats you wear is college professor. Mm-hmm. So what advice would you give to someone who's just starting out and would like to have a career in the music industry?
Be prepared to work hard. Now, I'm sure they hear that with any industry. Everybody's going to tell you you have to work hard. It's a very cutthroat industry. I'd say even more so than acting, because you can set up auditions, but with music, you're doing it on your own. And there's some expense. You have to record your music, you have to write your songs, you have to partner with people. I think that's the hard work, that's just given. If you want to be a recording engineer or a producer, you have to be able to wear many hats. As I mentioned before, you have to understand how to work with people. So I always tell my students, listen, take a psychology class. If you're going to be in the studio, you're going to have to put your psychology hat on and deal with people. If you're singing a love song and the lead singer, broke up with his girlfriend, what are you going to do to channel that energy of love or feeling good? Are you going to maybe light some candles or turn down the lights, or maybe there's some interpersonal problems with the band? If you're a producer, that's your job to figure that out. And also be open to other courses and other learning experiences. I never took a business class, and I started my own company. And I didn't know I could write things off with taxes. I didn't know about, issuing invoices. So be prepared to take classes outside of the music industry to help you succeed. A marketing class. You're going to have to market yourself. A small business class so you can learn how to balance your books and pay taxes. I think you have to be open. And the main message I tell my students is be open to all the experiences around you. Don't say no. Even if it's a style of music you don't like, learn how to read people and be open to learning things that you don't think are relevant. If someone tells you that it's relevant, who's been in the industry, it probably is, and be open to learning that skill and taking that skill on. And if you can do that and become a well-rounded individual besides a great musician or a great producer, that's going to help you succeed in this industry.
So give us the story of how your new single, What Is the Point, came to be.
You know, it's kind of a funny story. That song I actually wrote 30 years ago. I wrote it in my one-bedroom apartment in Manhattan on a little Fostex tape recorder, 4-track, and some MIDI keyboards. And I found it this summer. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's kind of a catchy song. And then I started thinking, everybody's on this Stranger Thing craze. All this retro music is making a comeback. The different 80s music, it's breaking again. So I thought, this song is very retro. Let me play with it. So one weekend, I just kind of got lost in my own studio, and I re-recorded the whole song. And I thought, I really like this. It's very catchy, but is it too kitschy? Is it too poppy? And I had these promoters in Europe, so I sent them that song and then another song that I did that was more based like on a Who song or sound and guitar and all that. And the 3 people individually said, what is the point? That's the song. That's the song you got to release. So I went back, tweaked it a little bit, and put it out, and it's just resonated with a lot of people. I kind of think it's funny, and at first I kind of hid from the song. I'm like, do I want to tell people this is my song? And then it started flying up the charts in Europe. And then these promoters came back and they said, you need a video. I'm like, oh, I need a video? And they're like tomorrow. So then I put together this really silly, funny, retro style video of me wearing colored headbands and very 80s like.
What is the point for going on like this? There's a man in a cover who says it's your love, but it's me who stole your kiss. I call you bluff, baby, show me your stuff.
And that's the story. It's an old song that has found new life.
Where does the Anthony Casuccio journey go from here?
Well, it's definitely gonna have music involved. We know that. I have a bunch of songs written, so I'm trying to finalize what songs that I want to release. So I'm definitely working on a new EP. I'm just not sure if it's gonna be all vocal pop songs, some that I'll probably sing, some I'll have other people sing, or if it's gonna be more EDM style. So I've been doing some EDM concerts. I've been DJing, and I'm looking to do some more shows with that. I've always been trying to meld those worlds and do dance mixes of the pop songs for the club. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and I think I need to let the club stuff go. I think I need to just focus on the release, the pop music, put that out there, and do that, promote that, and then still do the DJ stuff. And if I can tweak 1 or 2 songs, I'll do that. So I'll be doing that. I'll be making music, working on other people's music, and hopefully performing in the near future.